Hi, and good morning. Welcome to Tantrum. How are fantastic games, fantastic content, fantastic debate. Well, not fantastic. We've got lovely classical music playing, Ben.
Whoops.
It's a good job nobody's watching, right? Um, we got away with that one. Phew. Right. I mean, where do we start? I mean, not really a great morning, is it? From the night before. Anyway, let's get into it later. Right, with me this morning is my usual two co-hosts. Below me is the man who was our roving reporter from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last night. He also owns a coffee shop. His name is Ben Coffee Kaufman. How are you this morning, Ben?
I'm dejected, mate. Totally dejected.
Yeah, you look how I feel. You really look.
Yesterday was a long evening. It's a long, disappointing evening, but it's back to it. We need to get on with it.
That's it. And then my normal co-host is with me every stream. He really is a workhorse to this channel. He is the man that makes everything tick. He's my battery. He's like the Duracell bunny. That's what he's like. He's my mate. He's your mate. It's Kuva, the Duracell bunny, 99. How are you, Kuva?
Doing well. These intros are getting more and more bizarre, you know, mate. I'll disagree about Ben. Ben always looks bright and cheerful, even after a result like that.
Well, yeah. I'm glad you find my intros a bit bizarre because I do come up with them very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the comments straight away. It's straight on point, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll bring up that one. Mark Cousins.
Yeah.
Mark Cousins. Morning, mate. Morning, lads. Have we signed anyone yet? Yeah, I think
yeah,
that's
we signed.
We're clamoring for now, isn't it?
Yeah, we've signed a tea lady, the dinner lady, and we signed a new backroom boot boy.
Yeah, but it's only on loan with view to purchase, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've bought 72 houses and a cinema. Yeah. So we've bought them.
Phoenix gonna do well. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark. Because I'm embarrassed to show my face, I'm going to try this to see if the moustache works. Does it work?
Yeah, you look a bit like Tom Selleck, you know, in late Magnum EI. You sort of have that look.
Snap camera doesn't work. No, I was going to put a disguise on me so no one could recognise who I am.
Yeah. I tell you, a good film program to watch is Blood Brothers. Very good. He's in that as well.
Is, yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. I watched it the other night. Go on then, Koo, read this one out.
Moondog, morning, mate. He's saying morning. I've
Moondog.
had enough of watching the Spurs dross, so I will not be watching the derby. I'm feeling like that as well, to be honest.
I think I am. I know we should do a watch along, but you're thinking, why bother? But I think we owe it to our fans. If we do one, we will let you know. But at the moment, it's just.
I'll get that feeling of I'll probably end up watching it, but like sort of through fingers. And the moment it starts going bad, I'll just be raging, throw it off, and go and do something better.
But knowing us, Saturday night, Sunday morning, we'll be all pumped up for the match again from the North London derby. So, I mean, where do we go from here? Seriously, I mean, there's a lot to digest from last night. There's a lot. We have to do the autopsy of it. We already do. Where do we start? I mean, right, let's start on this point. Conte's 11 he picked. But what did you make of it? And why do you go with that lineup?
It looked a little bizarre at first, didn't it? But then I thought about it, and, you know, the tie was already lost anyway. I think most of us kind of knew that. We're a long way behind Chelsea on everything, so he's probably just giving players a little bit of a run out to see what they can do. It was mentioned that Galini was in because he deserved to have a little bit of a run in the cup because he did start the cup games earlier in the season. I kind of get that. It didn't feel like we were ever at any point going to really threaten Chelsea. That's the sad bit. No matter how much we improve, they've always got a few more gears to step up. Yeah. We saw that in the league game earlier in the season when we had a great first half against them. What happened? They just bring on Conte and we were just blown away again. we're a very, very long way behind that level of football at the moment. 2-0 lead against Chelsea. We weren't going to overturn it, unfortunately. Needed everything to run our way, and of course, as soon as the VAR's decisions start going against you, you just think it's one of those nights. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, sorry. No, go on. Sorry.
Well, no. Basically, it. I was just going to say, what did Ben make of it? The starting lineup.
I
Ben was there.
I knew we were going to lose from the moment I saw Galini on the team sheet. I mean, as we usually say, the man can't catch a cold or a particular thing that's going on wrong at the moment. The bloke was totally out of his depth. He couldn't even catch a ball when it came in the box. He had no control over his technical area. The man needs to have his contract terminated. We need to send him back and then get another goalkeeper because he shouldn't be at this club. He's not good enough. And you know what? I am gonna put my disguise on. So
Inspector Clouseau.
I'm putting my disguise on.
It's gone. It's fallen off already, mate.
Yeah, my disguise is gone.
Yeah, we've got a few more in the chat here. And can I just say thank you to everyone who watched us last night, to the 9 likes we've got, to the 91 views we've got. It really means a lot to us. So, me and Cooper were saying it wasn't we thought it wasn't the best of streams because the match was poor and we were there. But thank you to everyone who viewed it and liked it. It really means a hell of a lot to us. So thank you very much to everyone.
A pain shared is a pain halved, isn't it?
I'm quite surprised 91 people watched it actually. But thank you so much. It really means a lot to us all. And we're up to 267, so we're getting to we need how many short of the 300 now before the end of January, please?
I haven't checked, to be honest, mate. I'll have a
60,
look in a minute.
70, 80, 90. We're 33 away from 300, so let's can we get them 33 subscribers in.
Oh, I do like the way you say 33.
33.
Yes, it is 33. Yes, you're right.
Sounds like you get a bit aroused by that. 33.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like there's an owl in that tree. Is Phil about?
Yeah, he is. He's stuck on my shoulder. Right.
Let's get through a few of these comments before we. I think we've got one before here with Mr. Andrew as well.
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
Okay, Andrew, morning, mate.
Good morning, Andrew.
Hope a good sleep has lifted your spirits. Let's bear Arsenal and get back on track. It'll be nice, wouldn't it? It's the only way to respond from that sort of letdown. Yeah. A good win against the scum. That'll put us back on. Ben's taken his moustache to new levels now, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got his own national flag up there.
Yeah, that one really did work.
The flag of disappointment.
Moondog said, I'm finding it really hard to get pumped up, and I've never been like this. Oh, I've been like this loads of times, mate.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it, haven't we? Because we've seen it over the years, the bad and the good and the ugly.
To be fair, even before Enoch, you used to get times like this during Sugar's reign as well.
Yeah.
We've churned out a lot of crap for a long time now.
I don't think I've ever felt this bad, even under Sugar. I don't think I've ever felt this sort of dejected of being a Spurs fan.
It got pretty bad at one point, it did, to be honest. I think this is just prolonged suffering under Levy, though. Occasional nice bits. We enjoyed Redknapp. We enjoyed Pochettino, but
he got lucky with Poch. To be fair, he did.
He really got lucky with Redknapp as well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, at least Levy can say he didn't have what was his name? The fellow with the travel card.
Christian Gross.
At least Levy hasn't had a Gross. Mind you, Steve Hitchen could be his Gross.
Well, he's done things like Santini, hasn't he? I mean, he was dreadful.
He was.
Start going back through managers again. There's some horror shows in there too. Philip Brady, morning, mate.
Morning, Philip. How are you?
And
there's a man that has seen it all and seen every Tottenham side going.
Yeah. For even longer than we have.
Yeah, so big up, Philip. You're a true legend.
Derek Hutchinson saying, good morning, gents. Good morning, mate. Good of you to
Good
join
morning,
us.
Derek. Thank you again.
Mark saying, I'm watching the game on Sunday like I did Doctor Who in the 1970s behind the sofa. I know exactly what you mean, mate. I'm feeling that too.
It was the Incredible Hulk for me. I was so scared as a young kid of the Incredible Hulk when he changed. I used to hide behind the sofa. Yeah, I did. It actually took me years to watch the Hulk. It really did just freak me out when I was a kid.
I thought the green colour would have appealed to you, mate.
Well, did they have any
little
white and gold in
on
it?
his chest, you would have been over the moon.
You can imagine, look, how are you playing the Hulk?
Oh, dear.
Hulk smash!
Oh, so what was the catchphrase? You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I'll do that in Irish.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I'm angry.
Doesn't sound the same. Shamu and Spurs. I would have watched it though. That would have been good. Shamu saying, "Who have we signed? Big up, lads. Who have we signed?
We've signed Bon
Cooper.
Scott. That's who we've signed.
We've signed Cooper for defence, Phil for midfield, and me and Ben up front, and Philip Brady in goal. There you go. There's our new signings.
Shamu saying more TTG watch-alongs. Really? That was horrific. I prefer to do it if we actually win things. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, if people, I'm surprised people enjoyed it, but I'm really shocked at that. But thank you.
It's like trying to get through. I don't know. It feels like surgery.
Yeah. I think it was having Ben on from the stadium. I think helped, like a roving reporter. At
that
time.
did actually. It did actually.
Yeah. Nobody's done that anywhere in the watch-alongs. We have our own way.
Somebody must have done it before at some point. It's just you can't really do a whole interview like it, can you? It breaks up too much. But I just loved it. The match reporter leaving out. That was perfect.
Are you there Sunday, Ben?
Yeah, I'm there Sunday.
Oh, there we go. He's back there Sunday.
The best thing was at half time. What would you change about the team, Ben? The owner.
Yeah.
I like the fella behind you, Ben. He was sort of trying to look on your phone what you were doing.
That was my brother.
It was so funny.
Yeah, it was good. Right, let's get through a few more. Oh, sorry, you've been bringing them up, Dermot.
Yeah, sorry.
Paul Brown, morning, mate.
Morning,
he said, morning, Dermot, Cooper and Belnet, all in the chat. Let the deflation commence. I think it's finished. I need to get pumped up again now. Ryan McFarlane, morning, lads. I'm about done with this team. I know what you mean, mate. It's terrible. Ali Gold just said some players are fearing Conte will walk if he's not back this month. That is the big one, isn't it? We're feeling the same.
That's something we will get into in a minute. Actually, once we get these, I've got a few questions to ask you, Kuva and Ben.
Because
so we'll get through that in a minute.
If Conte does go, you think things are bad now. When that happens,
well, you've got Kane will walk, Son will go. There's two players that will go straight away.
Ugo will go, Lloris will go. I mean, it says a lot that my dad, one of the most respectful people on the planet, doesn't really like to cause a problem. Even my dad is saying Levy out, and my dad is someone that sort of respects the business practices because he wants the club to be sustainable and make money. But even he is saying Levy out. Even he. But what his quote, which summed up the whole thing, is Daniel Levy does not own a football club to win things as a football club. He owns a football club to say, "Oh, look at me, I own a football club." He uses it as a status symbol, not as something he can use to win things.
Is there any chance your dad could buy Tottenham?
No, unfortunately.
Damn.
We'll have a whip round.
Yeah. I would love to see Ben as the chairman. He'd be cool.
Oh, my dad would be the chairman because he's a control freak. He'd be a bigger control freak than Levy.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't actually. No, we don't want your dad as chairman. No.
Except for he supports the club.
Except he'd actually want to win things, and people would be sacked. Like if someone didn't put a performance in, they would just be sacked.
Oh, I'm quite liking your dad now. Have you as the PR man? We have Ben as the PR man.
Definitely having a wet round, man.
Yeah.
Right.
All money that's gone to our PayPal account, we're going to get Ben's father in as chairman.
Which is a tiny bit short.
Yeah. With a few
Moondog saying,
noughts. Sorry.
Moondog
That
saying,
was my fault.
I've been spoiled watching the '60s team
Yeah.
and playing with real men.
Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. I know exactly what you mean.
I've really enjoyed. There's some match of the day matches that we will hopefully we'll get the okay to show, but some of them are really brilliant.
I'd say it was still a proper game in the '70s and '80s as well,
Yeah.
but it really started tailing off quickly in the '90s, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Andrew Bailey saying, last night, nights like last night make me wonder why I quit drinking. I know, mate, but got to find a way to deal with it, haven't we?
Yeah. We've been here before, and we'll be here again.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah. It could be worse. We could be Newcastle.
You know what? Right now, there's more.
I'd rather be Newcastle
fan, isn't there?
Yeah,
at least there's something.
Actually.
They've got a bright future, but ours, we don't even know what's happening, do we? On or off the pitch with our club, it's just. Mark Cousin saying, "Sorry, I didn't say a lot last night. Was in a state of depression with that rubbish."
You are grand, Mark. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm sorry. I came off after we've come off air. I just came off the stream and just had to gather my thoughts because I was so peed off.
Yeah, no worries at all, Mark. We were all like it, mate.
Yeah.
If anyway, misery likes company, doesn't it? That's what it felt like last night. It's like should have all got into a pub together, just had a big drinking competition. Philip Brady
and Mark would have won that.
Philip Brady said, "Need a huge Levy out protest on Sunday inside the ground so the cameras pick it up."
I'm beginning
heading that way, aren't we?
Yeah,
heading that way.
Yeah.
And Shamu saying Brian Daigle as owner. Yeah, again, passionate Spurs fan. That's what we want to see as an owner, isn't it?
Yeah,
an actual fan.
I want to say something. I said it last night on Mari's Love Lounge. Cougar was there, so Cougar sort of knows what I'm going to say. But I've sort of thought about it during the night and this morning. It's getting everyone needs to take responsibility for their failing to Tottenham. Players, previous managers, Levy, Steve Hitchard, Enoch. But as Steve Perriman said the other night to us on Friday Night Show, the only thing that Tottenham Hotspur is fans. It's me, Cougar, Ben, Moondog, Shamu, Philip Brady, who's seen it all, Mark Cousins, who's seen it all, like Cougar has. We're the lifeblood of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Not the players, not the man, not even Conte. Not Levy, not Joe Lewis, the board, no one. There'd be no Tottenham without fans. Last night, I got to a point watching that game that I seriously considering I'm done with Spurs. 41 years of supporting them, up, down, left, right, whichever way you want to look at it, I was done. And then it hit me. I'm not done with the club, I'm done with this squad. Bill Nicholson once said, as Philip Brady, and we'll come up in a minute, as Bill Nicholson said, and Steve Perriman said this scoop on Friday, for that match we watched, he says, I will go, you will all go. Chairmans come and go, players come and go, managers come and go. We don't. It's our club. It's time we took control of our club. We're not a franchise. Never will be. Though Levy's trying to change us into one. We're not even a property management company, even though Enoch and Levy are trying to make us one. We are a football club. A football club that kicks a ball round the pitch with 11 versus 11. We have gone so far away from what we are that we don't even know who we are anymore. They said in the summer, Levy said, I want to bring this back our DNA. I say to you, does Levy actually know what our DNA is? And the answer to that is no. And, you know, Bill Nick, Arthur O, Bill Nick built a team. They built a house for us like the great Bill Shankly did at Liverpool, the great Matt Busby did at Manchester United. They built something. Where them two clubs have moved on, we didn't. Due to bad ownership over the years, bad managers, bad players. Every time we have a glimmer of hope that we're going to move forward, we shoot ourselves in the foot. Every bloody time. So you can say what you want about Levy, and I want Levy out as much as all of you do. But the players have to start to look at themselves. It's not Conte's fault. Conte was making a point with his signing last night, with his 11 last night. And anyone that does blame anyone that does blame Conte, you need to take a hard look at yourself in the mirror. Because if he walks, all hell will break loose at Tottenham. And we'll tear ourselves apart. And once we start tearing ourselves apart, we'll end up going down. If Conte goes, Kane, Luis, Son will go. Then what have we got? Players that are not even worth the tie. They wouldn't be worth tying anybody's laces. And as a Spurs fan for over 41 years, and we watch a load of my matches on here, I am embarrassed. I am angry. I am frustrated. One thing that I will never do is turn my back on my club. Players, yes. Managers, yes. Owners, definitely. Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, never. We need to stick together. We need to stick together, move forward as one. Because one day we will rise from these calamitous things. The cockle will crow again. Believe me, it will. The club will rise from the phoenix of the flames, and we will win the league. We will win cups. But until then, we have to stay together and focus our attention on leaving and Enoch and on them players. Because if Conte walks, I dread to think what will happen. I dread to think what will happen. But we've got a North London derby Sunday. Let's all get together and let's win this for us, the fans. Let's make Tottenham Hotspur Football Club a fortress again. And the house Bill Nick built is gone. Us fans need to rebuild it again in his memory and his soul. We need to do it for Bill Nick, Arthur Rowe, Danny Branchfeld, Jimmy Greaves, Steve Perriman, Glenn Hoddle, Graham Roberts, Paul Miller, Ozzy Ardiles, Ricky Villa. Let's not forget our past, because our past can be our future. That's it. Sorry.
Yep. Well said, mate. Well said, mate. Couldn't agree more. It is the fans that make the club. Time certain people start listening to them, isn't it? Yeah, let's plow on with a few more comments then, mate.
I didn't even shout. I nearly made myself cry.
You're right. That's the thing. There's no escaping what's been going wrong and who's the cause of it. This one, Moondog saying, the one thing I can't understand is how that Kane's goal was offside. It's one of those rare occasions when the goalkeeper. The rule is you've got to have two players between yourself and the opposition goal when the ball's played, and it's one of those rare occasions where the goalkeeper was in an advanced state, so it needed one of the defenders and then another defender to keep Kane onside. Unfortunately, there was only one defender keeping him onside, and he was a fraction ahead of the other. Yeah, it's rare, but it does happen sometimes. It was
It's
a
a
correct decision, unfortunately. We were robbed by VAR being correct 3 times. Usually it's wrong and we're robbed.
Yeah. That's Wayne Bonner.
Wayne saying, morning, mate. Good of you to join us. Philip saying, players move on, we fans don't. Exactly. Yeah, that's what Dermot was saying a minute ago. I know you agree, mate. Mark Cousins, any of us would make a better owner because we got passion. Absolutely agree with that. Would love to see a proper fan in charge that are actually owning the club, not just chairman, but full owner. So like a Joe Lewis who becomes, let's have a Brian Daigle as a Joe Lewis. So again, we need a hell of a whip round for that. It would be in a better place though.
Ben, can we borrow some money for Brian Daigle to become chairman?
Whip round for Daigle as owner.
Yeah.
Paul Brown saying, Mass.
Sorry, that was my fault. Sorry.
No problem.
Sorry.
Mass turning back towards the pitch players on the 61st minute in protest required, celebrating the achievements of 1961.
I agree with that.
That would be something.
Yeah.
That'd definitely be something for the cameras. They couldn't ignore that.
No.
All the fans did that.
Yeah. Or mass walkout the 61st minute.
I don't think you can expect a walkout. People still want to watch the game.
But I agree with that. I really agree with that.
Yeah, it would definitely be a very good visual sort of statement there, wouldn't it?
I mean, not even towards the players though, just towards the ownership.
Yeah.
Just turn your backs on the ownership, not the players, because the players can't help that the owner's not putting his money in his pocket and bringing better players in. I mean,
I think there should be a chant at the stadium now. Bill Nitt chant again.
Levy out does it. It's more. It's the one people can identify with more. You kind of explain you get people on board telling them about Bill Nitt, but keep it simple with Levy out. People will go for that. Mark Cousins saying, if anyone was going to shoot me in the foot, I'd want it to be Winks after last night's effort.
Yeah.
I actually thought Winks was all right last night. It shows how bad the rest of the team was. I mean, Højbjerg needs to be dropped after yesterday's performance.
See, I'm still going to back Højbjerg. I just think he's been overworked.
He needs a rest.
He does, and that's the point. Everyone thinks he's no good. He's knackered. We totally broke the man.
It's only a matter of time before he starts getting injuries as well because he's tired. So against Arsenal, Skip and Winks, that's a perfect to play them with someone in front of them.
Well, whatever your view on the bloke, he's not playing well at the moment in the team. That's the end of the day. Shamu saying Cooper is the treble now officially off. I said we'd be robbed by officials. It was that bloody VAR lot getting it all right 3 times in a row. Nobody could have foreseen that.
So the double now, Cooper. It's the double.
Well, no, we could be reinstated in the Conference Cup yet, couldn't we?
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Keeping on for the treble until it's definitely off the table. So no, it's still on, mate. Yeah. Different treble. Philip Brady saying Bill Nick is spinning in his grave as we speak. He would never accept what's going on. Yeah, absolutely right.
No, he really wouldn't.
Charu saying Jimmy Greaves, David Ginola. That's club legends.
I think that was my rank when I was naming players. I forgot to mention David Ginola.
Well, Ginola a legend. He's certainly a hero. I mean,
he's not a legend.
Legend on players that aren't here for all that long. Maybe. He certainly had an impact. Love watching him.
He scored that goal. He scored against Burnley. Barnsley was it?
Yeah. Brilliant.
A little bit of Ricky about that one.
Oh, at such high speed as well, though. That's what made it. It was like a dog chasing the ball with. It was brilliant. One of those standout moments. That's what it's about. It's the memories, isn't it, mate?
It is. I love watching Ben because when he's not doing anything, I can see him working, making his coffee. It's really funny.
It's good. It's a perfect backdrop for the morning show.
It is. We get to see
Christmas has come Ben early. We're getting Christmas coffees out for our 2 guests, Mr. Mark and Mandy.
Hi, Mark and Mandy. You're live on YouTube.
Really, I should unplug so I can actually hear what you're talking about. But
Smiley on candy camera.
Anyway, yeah, there we go. That was nice and impromptu moment.
Yeah.
Derek
did we do-
was saying,
Oh,
get
sorry.
Levy out. Only then
Yeah.
can we start to move forward. I think most people are agreeing now.
Yeah.
I feel that anyway. It feels like more people are anti-Levy than sort of going on the fence or pro-Levy.
Yeah, I mean, you got the likes of Sean Butler, and it's big up, Sean, if you're watching, sir. I respect you massively, but I'm sorry. Nobody cares about spreadsheets and being sustainable for the next 100 years. Nobody gives a toss.
I think you're a bit unfair on Sean, to be honest. He is a fan still.
I know, but
it's just I think even he's starting to think yeah, maybe this isn't going quite as we think.
I love Sean's debate. Don't get me wrong. I love how he comes across, and he tries to do it the sensible way, I suppose. And look, we've got money, we've got this, but it doesn't bring you a cup. I mean, buying 72 houses and a cinema, what's that going to bring us?
Well, I mean, even I will argue it is possible to be looking to make a profit off the club and benefit the club at the same time. It's just we haven't seen it being done that way.
No,
it can be mutually beneficial in a lot of cases. Stephen Cartwright, any serious club would have got rid of most of these players years ago. I reckon it's getting to the point where Sean will start agreeing with Brian. Yeah, I agree. I agree. We've brought in so much dross with the idea of it will just fill a hole when they're not good enough, or we're going to improve them and sell them on for a profit. And we've just got a squad full of those sort of players now.
Yeah.
Philip Brady saying, news just in, it looks like Hugo will sign a new deal. Let's hope so, because he is one of the few top quality players we do have.
Is he signing a new deal on the understanding that Conte's going to be there next season?
Ties in with being here for with World Cup and everything coming up. It's beneficial for certainly him and the club for at least extending his contract. But a full new deal for say 3 or 4 years, that'll be brilliant. That'll be brilliant news.
I'm sorry.
Shamu saying, no need to sign anyone then, Phil. That's our new signing. But
feels like that, doesn't it?
it feels Hugo, yeah. True, he's just class. 4-year deal for Dino at Villa. Yeah. Easy enough for other people to sign players, isn't it? Not us.
No.
I'm leaving out as much as the next person's, but sometimes it's better the devil you know. This is my big worry as well.
For what I can understand, that Forrest Lee looking to Cooper, I just want to ask you this question. For what I'm hearing, that he's looking to, he's taking more of an interest in Tottenham. Yeah. Does that worry you?
It's some of the businesses are in China that he owns, and if the Chinese government's involved, they need certain amounts of access to all the clients that they're dealing with that you don't normally get in business, and it's not a good sort of look. I don't want to say too much on that because I'm not going to know a lot about that at the moment. I mean, it's not something I've done.
No, I heard a bit more last night, but something I can't say in there. But I will tell you what, fair. I know you're sort of on the fence and you don't believe until it happens. I'm with you, but what I'm hearing is worrying me.
Yeah, so. There's huge benefits and huge costs with dealing with China at the moment. We don't know what the new owner's going to be like unless it's somebody we all know very well already. Like if it's in Amazon, we know what they're all about.
Yeah, I think we're sorry.
Please, Amazon, please come and get us.
Yeah, please get us, please. Is it Bezos?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Please, Bezos. I still want Ben's dad to buy us. I still want Ben's dad to buy. He sounds like a proper chairman.
He does. Might be just a few pence short though. Shamu saying Tottenham have won permission to build 72 new homes, and a new cinema outside the ground. The club are pursuing ambitious house building plans in the area. Yeah, that is basically it. And this is also why I don't think we're going to see Enoch going.
No.
They're just going to use the club as the front for doing their big property development, which is what they've always been doing. If any of that ever got played back into the team, it would be great, but it's not going to.
Chimo here, I like his come.
Yeah, we got a brand new cinema. I just don't think you understand.
I'm trying to think what song that come from. I know the song is.
It's the Deli Alley song, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But the original lyrics to that, the song's in my head, but I can't name it. But I can know the song in my head, sort of thing. It was an 80s
You know
song,
what? I don't even know what the original is. I just remember it as a Deli Alley song. Philip Brady saying Arsenal still moaning about playing tonight with the COVID situation, but I bet they will miraculously recover by Sunday. Yeah, all clubs are going to big it up or make a big deal of it if it suits them, aren't they? I mean, that's the way it is. Competitive nature. You're gonna be like that. Look at Klopp at Liverpool, for example. On to the next one. Derek Hutchinson saying Whiteman in Galini out. Yeah, Alfie Whiteman looked really good in pre-season. I thought I was really impressed, genuinely impressed. I thought he looked ready for Premiership. I'll be very happy with that. Hugo signing a new deal and Alfie Whiteman back up, give him a bit of game time. You could even look to him as the eventual successor to Hugo. I mean, I think there was enough talent on show there to convince me he could do it.
I was even happy with that Argentinian we had. Was it Godzilla or
Godzilla?
Yeah,
Godzilla. Yeah, well, he was great for us when he wasn't smashing Tokyo. Gazaniga. Yeah, I liked him. I mean, he did lose his head at times, but I mean, with that sort of almost kung fu like kick, but it was against Chelsea, so that's forgivable.
Who cared?
Yeah,
and then
in fact, the only criticism was he couldn't injure the player doing it.
And then
Shamu on Bezos is a good enough. Yeah, I've heard that too, but I mean. He would still want Amazon plastered all over everything, wouldn't he? Shuing saying Napoli not interested in Tanguy because of wages. Only way we get him off is if we pay a big percentage of the wages, or it will be impossible to get rid of. French Ozil, I agree.
Yeah,
it's the obvious way out. It's just I'll be prepared for that just to get him out of the club. Don't want somebody like that. You know, that attitude around players. What a terrible example. John Fitzpatrick, big up Dermot and Coover.
Big up,
mate. Good of you to join us.
Yeah. I would be showing what Ben's doing in his coffee shop, but people kept walking in front of the screen, so that's why I took them off. But
so it's a bit of fun. It's a coffee shop, isn't it?
All right, fine. We'll leave them on.
Paul Brown saying all this current debacle shit show just proves that Lenick prioritizes just staying in the league. Priorities. I'm reading it wrong. Their priorities lay with just staying in the league and potential profits from the stadium and merchandising possibilities, etc. Actually, the football is dead.
Yeah.
It seems that way.
It does. It really does.
And I've got to learn to read again this morning. It's just one of those days, isn't it? Mark Cousins saying the cinema only costs 5 minutes better than Ozil. We've got an Odeon. You're definitely going to have to get the work on singing that. Shamu saying, why keep stale milk in the fridge and watch it go rotten? McDombele.
Technically, it's sour milk, not stale milk.
It is, isn't it? Ben, how do you feel? Just get him out of the club at any cost, really, isn't it?
Yep, get rid of all the weak links in that dressing room. Deli, Ndombele, Galini, Bergwijn, Rodon.
There's so many.
There's so many. There's so many toxic names in that dressing room. They've all got to go.
Yeah, seems that way.
Got to have about, even if they're not as good as the players we have, we need a bunch of young, hungry players that are pulling in the same direction. And we can see with West Ham, they don't have some of the caliber of players that we've got, but they've got a cohesive unit and they're winning football games because they are a cohesive unit. And they're a far better team than us. We've got better players than them. They've got a far better team than us.
Yeah. I mean, with Ndombele, I agree with Shamu. Even if we're paying a big percentage of their wages, just get them off somewhere. Just get them playing away from the club.
I've just sent you a message there, Phil.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Quickly.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Is that all right?
Yes, definitely.
All right. I'm just doing our new protocol now. I'm remembering to do it now. Phil will be pleased with me.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, you're dealing with that, and I'll keep going through the questions and talk to Ben in the meantime. Okay, yeah. Shamu saying it's a new French thing, stale, sour, and has attitude problems. That's not a new thing.
Apart from Hugo Lloris, Tottenham and Ginola, but that was a no-brainer because he was already in the Premier League. We have not had a single good French player. We need to stop buying French players from the French league. We've not had a single good one. We need to stop buying them.
Struggling to think of one. It's a tough call, that one. It's a tough call. And then, of course, you got all the ones that are French-speaking but actually represent an African nation as well. And you keep thinking, what was that? Was he France and stuff like that? It gets a little bit confusing keeping up with who's who.
But it's not just an African. I mean, we've had Dorian Dervite, for God's sake, and he was awful.
That's the kind of name you even struggle to remember who it is. that bad. What do we do? How do we change this? It's just going to be basically leadership at the club, isn't it? It all comes back to Levy out again.
How do we change it? I think we've all got to be as one, the fans. We can't just be. Look, these Levian fans, I'm just getting peed off with them now. I mean, are they football? What do they want? Do they just want what we got, or do they want us to win something? It's okay you say leave it in, but you're becoming to be hypocrites. You either want one or the other. 2 and 2 can run in hand. You look at Liverpool. They're successful financially as well as being successful in the club. It does go hand in hand. But Levy is a parasite. Brian Daigle is right. He's a parasite. He's an idiot. He's a fool.
Well, to be fair, with a lot of the people still undecided or even pro-Levy, there has been an awful lot of wool pulled over an awful lot of eyes for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They've got set routines. We always keep talking about smoke and mirrors. It's deflection constantly. Yeah. The fingers aren't pointing at Levy. Recently, they were. Look what happened at the ground then. Mm-hmm. That was suddenly Nuno was out and Conte in, and there's Paratici to drive forward any transfer dealings, hopefully. But still, nothing's happening. So we as fans, we can only make our discontent known, and the more people get on board with it, the better. It is at that point. More protests of any kind at the ground. Yeah. It's got to be in Levy's face. He can't get away with just turning a blind eye and getting his PR team to sort of gloss over everything like it didn't happen. It is happening. You can't escape the cameras when it's happened at the ground, not during a game.
I want to ask you 2 questions. I'll start with you, Kauffie. What do you say to Conte saying that he was bored? I think he came out at the press conference or the match report. He was getting a bit bored.
Bored?
Is he bored of the players, or he looks a bit different? He hasn't got the same passion.
Look, did he say that?
Yeah. somewhere along the line, I read somewhere he said, or he looked. I was either he said, or somebody said he looked a bit bored.
Oh, looked a bit bored, definitely.
I think he was bored with the journalist questions. They kept on asking him about Chelsea, and like they kept on asking him the same questions over and over again.
Right.
But
okay.
All
I
right,
think that's
yeah.
what he looked bored about.
Yeah, in context, that's a different sort of
I found it now. I've actually found the quote now. And Conte says, "I'm a bit bored and I'm a bit annoyed."
Yeah, in reply to what though? That's the thing.
That's what I'm just gonna cut off and listen to it, and then I get the full.
Ben was just saying that's in reply to the journalists asking him the same sort of questions over and over. In which case, yeah, I'd understand that. I mean, Mourinho used to do the same thing, didn't he? It just loses rag with the journos after a while if they just keep on badgering on at the same thing. It's like asking Conte about transfers. It's out of his hands at the moment, isn't it? So why keep pestering him for it? Doing a few of the other comments while we're doing that. Mark Cousins, highest ticket prices and still no investments, says it all. That is it. For me, that's the most cutting thing you can put at Levy. Why are fans paying so much and getting so little in return?
Also, highest massive revenue as well. It's not like revenue isn't coming to the club. We make like 3 million per game, isn't it, on match revenue? From the Spurs shop to the concourses, to the food, to the tickets. I mean, it's not like they're not getting enough money every week. I know there's taxes and all that nonsense, but they're making so much money. And if they're playing 3 games a week, it's not like they're making 9 million a week, as well as the TV money. It's about time they started putting that into the football side of thing, put the money where the mouth is. Otherwise, we will just drop.
You'd think so, wouldn't you, mate? And Derek saying, Levy our chance on the 61st minute every game until he pisses off.
Yeah.
Oh, Levy out chance. Yeah,
I think the fans going to have to start showing Levy up arse because he doesn't give a shit about our history and our great teams.
No, of course not.
They made all that big at the end when White Hart Lane, the old White Hart Lane, was being demolished. They made a big hoo-ha at the end of the Man United game and bringing out all the old players. I tell you one thing, Steve Perryman wasn't there. Our record appearance holder wasn't there.
Must have been asked though. He must have just said no. He must have just said no.
I'm not speaking for Mr. Perryman, Steve Perryman, but the thought I got from him, I don't know if you thought the same, Cooper. He seemed very anti. Well, he said that the day he left the club, Tottenham had changed from the day he left, I think.
Yeah. You can tell it. I mean, Steve Perryman's one of us, isn't he? He's a fan first and foremost. He was just in the situation where he was blessed with his opportunity and he took it, thankfully, and gave us some brilliant years. So he can't be happy seeing what's gone on at Spurs, can he? I mean, the club's dear to all of our hearts. I mean, who's actually happy at watching us struggling to make top 4, not winning trophies? Nobody is. The thing is, like I said earlier with Ben, Levy's got in place this PR machine that glosses over everything, deflects. It's all, look, we're doing so well financially. Oh, great! We've had for the past 20 years. I mean, it started under Levy, definitely. That this attitude with the fans. We're not cheering about the winning anymore. We're not cheering about great goals and winning trophies. It suddenly becomes let's have a cheer for Hugo keeping another clean sheet. We've spent less money than anybody else on transfers, and we're up in 4th. How good are we? It's like, why are we cheering that? That's not glory. That's this. I mean, keeping a clean sheet, yeah, it's fine to know your teams that getting their sort of tactics right at the back, but if it's in a 0-0, why would you cheer that? You'd be disappointed about not winning, surely. There's something gone wrong with the attitude of the fans in a lot of cases. people are forgetting about the game. It used to be there in plain black and white, and the game is about glory. It really is. Bill Nick as well. He'd always say, if this without European football, this club's nothing. And if you haven't won a trophy, you've had a bad season. Let's not forget that you have had a bad season if you haven't won something. That's the whole purpose in competing in these things.
Yeah.
We're just not doing it. It's all about financial stability, making some profit, grow the business. The team suffered for so long now; it's sickening. And I'm like you, Donald. I'm just fed up of it. It's just not changing, and I just want this bald-headed little maggot out. Whoops, gone too far, have I? No, I haven't.
No.
Not far enough.
No. Can I bring in Philip Brady?
Absolutely.
Let's bring in the godfather of us all, the man that's seen everything. The man that I would put him joint chairman with Ben's dad running the club. There you go.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, it's pretty frustrating at the moment, really. You know, I don't know if any of you heard TalkSport last night. No,
I saw a little bit of it. I saw was it Woodgate and Jamie O'Hara on there, weren't they?
Yeah, but apparently it was the phone-ins that was the concern. There was a lot of very irate Spurs fans coming on now. A good few of them were complaining about Levy, which is fair enough, you know. But a lot of them were firmly of the opinion that Conte was going to walk in the next few days, which is the more worrying of the two. Now, I can't see that happening because, you know, the transfer window is not over yet, so he can't say he hasn't been backed until the 1st of February. Now, I can see him walking in July or August if we don't get players in that he wants. But I think we're safe enough until then anyway, unless things have really gone pear-shaped in there. And who knows? Like he looked a very disgruntled man after the match yesterday. Now, I'm hoping that the result put him that way, losing to his old club. But I don't know. Like with Daniel Levy, it worries me to see that he's buying up property all around Tottenham. He should be buying players, never mind property. You know,
or both.
He's not going to benefit the club.
Both. He should be buying both players and property.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well,
as good as, but it's just like the most important thing is the club.
Yeah, yeah. It seems to me that the property empire seems to be taking his priority at the moment, and I mean, that should not be. You know, I mean, the Spurs fans are paying to the nose to see them play, and at the minute, under the Trade Description Act, we're not even getting value for money. You know, we're paying over the odds for a substandard product as things stand at the moment. You know,
I mean, we saw a picture from last night. He didn't look happy, but is he happy? What's he not happy about? He's bought 72 new homes and the cinema.
Somebody else made the point last night. You know the way Conte is normally very vocal and very stimulative on the touchline. He didn't do it last night.
No. It's not for the first time either, is it?
No.
We're noticing that in a few recent games. He looks
even
defeated.
Even Paratici.
Yeah. There was a clip of Paratici last night. He's leaning forward, glum look on his face, and he's thinking, director of football during a transfer window. Why is he even at the match? You'd expect him to be hugely busy in the office on his phone. No, he's just there looking glum. It makes you think there's nothing happening.
I don't think he's the Don everyone's making him out to be honest with you.
Well, I don't think he's going to have a chance to show what he can do. He's going to have no money to do anything.
So, you know, they're also complaining about the lack of players and saying, "Oh, look who Villa have signed." I will only get annoyed if Villa or Newcastle or Arsenal or United or anybody sign a player that we're in for. Then I will get really annoyed. Like, players are going to sign for clubs that we're not interested in them. Like, we weren't interested in Coutinho. We weren't interested in Gagne. But the fact that other clubs are signing players seems to be annoying Spurs fans to the nth degree. And I can understand that up to a point. But Cuba and look, you'll all remember the last few transfer windows where we signed nobody. I wonder, was there the same outcry then as there is now. We're not even halfway through the transfer window yet.
There's part of me's thinking, is Levy trying to force the issue on Conte to improve players and then sell them on to buying those new ones in the summer? Perhaps that's his twisted sort of plan for this season, completely write off the whole thing, just in the hope of getting some more money in the summer. But I mean, that's a dangerous game to play. How low are we going to sink down in the league in that case? I mean, throw away Champions League football for next season just to get a few extra quid out of some rubbish we can't sell. But I wouldn't put it past him. He always seems content when we've got to a level he finds acceptable to run his business model. That's why we don't get investment when we're up there pushing for the league title. Go 3 transfer windows with nothing because it's okay. We could just sit there. It's comfortable. He doesn't have to put in any extra funds into transfers. Comes always back to this whole what appears to be the business model of very low risk investment and high returns on it, which means it's going to be put into bricks and mortar and building up the facilities. Because even if the football isn't going, you can get concerts going and things like that and making money. It doesn't matter. We're just this organic advertising front for the ENIC business plan. That's all. The team doesn't really matter that much.
Levy's probably sitting there thinking, now, how many houses can I buy from an Ndombele transfer fee?
Yeah. Literally, yeah.
No, it's very frustrating, and it's I don't know. There's been worse times at Spurs. There has been worse times. Our league position is say we're okay, we're safe, but I think social media has highlighted. Like a lot of this stuff was going on in years gone by in the early days of ENIC when there was no social media to highlight it. And now it's really been brought to the fore. And it just worries me that, okay, we're the butt of Sky fraud sports. We get the rough end of the stick with Sky Sports. I bet they were laughing their asses off last night about the VAR decisions. Has it ever happened to any other club of Spurs get 3 VAR decisions going against them in one match? They were correct decisions. They were correct decisions.
Yeah.
But where was the refereeing standards that allowed them to get to that position? He should have seen the tackle was outside the box. He should have seen Harry Kane was offside. Didn't. A referee's now starting to take the easy way out and rely on VAR for decisions they're not absolutely sure of. It's like this, not putting your flag up to the players 50 yards, around 50 yards with the ball, then you put your flag up that he was offside. That is ridiculous. So it's anyway. That's off the subject. I'm just ranting here because it's.
That's fine, Philip. We're all good at that this morning.
I must admit, it sounds like you're pretty much of the same opinion I am with VAR. Anyway, I can't stand it. I think it just slows down the game needlessly, and that point where you score a goal and you're suddenly thinking, shall I cheer or do we have to wait for VAR? And then the moment's ruined. It was much better before. Football was a spectacle before. It's just become too much technology now. It's trying to be too accurate instead of going with the emotion of the crowd and the players. I think it was better to just grumble about having a wrong decision against you.
Exactly. And that was it.
Now we're grumbling against wrong VAR decisions. It's not taken out the errors of out of it, has it at all? It's created some.
It goes back to that original thing. Footballers should be running VAR. It shouldn't be run by referees. It should be people that have played the game. They understand the game. They understand the crowd. They understand it's sterile. They're making football into a laboratory experiment that everything's got to be perfect and these variables have to be this and you've got to plan it and there's no spontaneity to it anymore and it's slowly dying.
I also absolutely hate the fact that referees have got this rigid set of rules for dealing with everything to make it sort of consistency. That's what they're after, wasn't it? With decisions. I preferred it when you just let a ref do things sensibly as they saw fit. You got good referees then. You knew who a good referee was. You knew when you're getting a bad one. There was nothing wrong with that. I mean, I prefer to see that get back to more like playing in the 80s, for example. You saw a hard fought game, a few tackles flying in. Sometimes they'd mistime it. You don't have to go instantly. That's a yellow card. You just go, give them a warning, say, cut it out. Come on, get up you get. Let's stop messing about. Let's get the game going. Now it's yellow card. Somebody sent off for 2 completely innocuous challenges. The game's been ruined by over officiating and VAR to me. Don't know how everybody else feels about that.
Well, yeah, I think there used to be a thing in the past before VAR. I mean, the referees were always encouraged to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacking player. That seems to have died a death spectacularly. We have Harry Kane's goal disallowed against Southampton for his elbow being offside. We have Manchester United having Villa having a goal chalked off the other night for I don't know why, and then we have last night, which was the right decision, but it just seems to me that the benefit of the doubt is always given to the defender, and that can only be bad for football. We want to see more goals in games, and we're not going to see it the way VAR is operating at the moment. They are disallowing goals for the tiniest of margins, which is not in the spirit of the game. Shouldn't be in the spirit of the game.
It goes back to that point. There's no respect for football anymore.
Just quickly, I've got to pop off because I have actually a hospital appointment to go to, so I'm going to leave you to take the hands
Best of luck.
Cheers, Phil. My capable hands of my co-host, the Duracell Bunny Cougar 99 next to me, and you wait till tomorrow. I've got a good one for you in the morning, Cougar. We won't be on later. We're not on tonight, but we're back on tomorrow morning at 11:30. So thank you very much for everyone tuning in, and I'll see you later.
See you, man. All the best.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate. Good luck. Yes, Ben, you were saying.
There's no respect in football anymore. The referees have no power because the footballers surround them and like they intimidate them. The referees need to have the same power as they do in rugby, whereas the referees word is law, and that's it. And I would go for VAR, a tennis system where you have 3 challenges, and once you've used all your challenges for a decision, no more VAR, turn it off.
Idea. And do you know what else would be a good thing? If they incorporated what they do in the rugby game as well, where you can actually hear the conversations.
Yep,
between
do that as well.
Between the people involved. That would be
that would be good.
Too,
Yeah, you'd understand exactly then where the referee's coming from, and it's not just all completely following rigid guidelines necessarily. You might be able to hear a bit of common sense coming from referees then as well. Or then is that another sort of case for following rigid guidelines, and he's just explaining why?
But then have that like NFL. Say if they make a VAR decision, player number 5 made this foul on this player, blah blah. We have adjusted this to be a foul. If the fans can hear from the referee, like, okay, I understand where your mind's at. It brings that sort of respect back. It makes the referee in charge of the game. The referees are not in charge of the game, especially not now. VAR's in charge of the game, not the referees.
Did you see the refereeing in the African Nations Cup last night?
No, I didn't. But apparently,
I'll tell you what, Philip. I went on to Mari's the Love Lounge, and we were on the more serious version of it the night before. We were talking about, is the AFCON disrespected? And we was agreeing, yes, it is disrespected because of various reasons. But then it comes to seeing that match and the official blowing up with 85 minutes for full time, and you're just thinking, well, you can kind of see why it might get disrespected now. It's they don't seem to have got their act together, really, do they? That was an embarrassment.
He did it again in the 89th minute.
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
And then
after bringing the teams out,
off the pitch, So I'd say there's a Betty coup investigation going on there somehow over that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something very strange, wasn't it? It was comical, but you could see. Look how angry the team was that was trailing. Of course, you'd be angry, being robbed of all those minutes at the end. Oh, never mind. Better do a couple of comments here. Sushant Busal, I really do hope I am getting your name right. You haven't said otherwise, so I'm assuming I'm roughly on the mark. Hello, everyone. Big up and good morning, Conte. Gonna walk. Ali Gold tweeted.
He didn't really tweet anything. He'll stay till the summer, and if he's not back in the summer, he'll walk. He won't walk in January. He won't walk in February.
That does seem to be the Conte way of doing it, doesn't it? In the summer.
But I think they'll make a massive investment in the summer anyway. I think they've got to now. They've got to make the last throw of the dice.
Certainly hope so, mate. Derek Hutchinson saying Conte gone February the 1st if we don't sign anybody. As we just said, we don't think that might be a bit early for him, but he's certainly going to be thinking about it, isn't he? He's going to be thinking, if nothing's happening in this club, there's pointless. I can't do anything for them. Sad, but we are all starting to think that way. Big up Philip, says Mark. Profit before glory again as usual. Yeah. Can't argue with it. Wayne Bonner. If Joe Lewis gives a shit, he should pull Levy as chairman and replace him with someone who's capable of prioritising the football side of things, because Conte will walk and all the blame will be on Levy. You're quite right in the second half of that, but even to suggest that Joe Lewis gives a shit, I very much doubt. I think he's just quite happy to sit there making a nice little profit. That's certainly what he's been all about. So why would he change? Talk about his daughter being a big Spurs fan, but for as far as I'm concerned, that's a bit unsubstantiated. So guesswork, mate. You're right though. If nothing happens, if there's no significant investment, what's Conte going to do? He'll walk out because there's literally nothing he can do. He's already said it before. He's not a magician. Yeah, need something to happen. I agree. A random Spurs fan. Evening, morning, mate. No idea. I'm saying, yeah, it's agreeing to. I don't know who you're agreeing to, mate, but good of you to join us anyway. Mark Cousin saying Paratici is trying to work with his hands tied by Levy. Seems to be that way. He looks dejected at the moment, doesn't he? It had the ring of sort of a man that's not able to get his job done because he's
but at least you can tell he cares, and that is a massive improvement. You can see that it infuriates him, and that's a brilliant thing. So maybe he might get some stuff done now.
Maybe. And Derek saying scrap VAR, it's laughable, but keep goal line tech. Yeah, I fully agree. Goal line tech is one of the improvements I do fully agree with. It just takes the elements of doubt out for the referee, doesn't it? Fully agree on that one. Right, okay. What would Philip, since you've joined us now? Obviously, we're agreeing on lots of things about the team and the state of VAR and the refereeing and things like that. Transfer-wise, what's your feelings? What's about this transfer window? Are we likely to see anything happening?
I'm never a fan of the January window because I don't think it's the time to buy your key players. Now, we might get Traore. That seems to be the nearest one we've got to get. We might get a couple of pre-transfer contract agreements for the summer. I don't see us doing massive business. But what concerns me a little bit is, are we going to get rid of any of the driftwood? Are we going to be still stuck with Ndombele? Is Dele Alli still going to be at the club? Now, I've taken Winks and Dyer off that list because they've earned it. They've earned their right to stay at the club. Matt Doherty, hopefully he'll be made a make weight in the Traore if it does come through. No, I'm not expecting huge things. I really am not. There will be somebody will come in, but it's not going to be massive. The big test is to be in the summer. I think really that's the time when the big and I think Conte will, if he doesn't get what he wants or near to what he wants in July or August, then I think we'll have a new manager in place for next season. And that's I hate to say it, but he's got form, and let's face it, he probably will have more reason to walk at Spurs than he has had at his previous club, because he ain't never dealt with anyone like Daniel Levy before. Abramovich, Chelsea would put his money where his mouth is. I think the problem with Inter was he couldn't get money that he wanted, and he walked. And Levy now is going to. Levy has done it to every manager so far, and why is he going? He's probably going to do it to Conte eventually. Maybe we might get what we want this season, but say Conte then comes up for his contract renewal, which is the end of next season, and Levy doesn't play ball, he's going to go. So I think we've got Conte for the next 16, 17 months maximum. Hopefully he'll stay that long. But I don't know.
I agree with all of that except for one point, and that's if Conte does walk in July or August, I don't think we'll see a new manager in charge by the start of the season. I think we'll go another 70-odd days, because who's going to want to come then? That's true.
Sam Allardyce wouldn't even touch us at the moment.
He wouldn't, would he? Well, I suppose he would if he's offered an easy payday. I mean, I suppose there'll be managers out there that just think that's an easy 6 months at Spurs. Get a 2-year payoff for a 6-month job. I mean, I'd go for that, wouldn't you?
That's true.
Ben, how do you feel about Conte going in the summer then? We've already discussed it, I know, mate, but you think it's more likely or less likely if nothing happens this transfer window?
I think Conte will stay to the summer, and I think he'll get investment in the summer. But I think that's the way I see it at the moment. I agree totally with Philip, the way Philip is looking at it. I mean, it's all dependent on whether he gets investment in the summer, because it's very difficult to buy in January. And we don't say that just to give Levy a pat on his back. It is very difficult to buy in January. The only people that are buying are people that are spending stupid money, like Newcastle for Chris Wood, and like buying average players for. It is difficult to buy in January. So when it comes to the summer, we expect to see serious investment, and that's what we look at.
Would you? What was it? £20 million quoted for?
Yeah,
Chris
£20 million release clause.
25 million for a 30-year-old.
Oh, is he that old already?
Yeah,
30. Yeah.
He's been around the block, Chris Wood. He'll really help them because he weakens Burnley as well. But it's a lot of money for a 30-year-old. It's near the end of his contract.
It is.
It's a lot of money.
It's actually not.
It's a panic buy. They need a striker because apparently Callum Wilson's injured. Isn't that right? Wilson got injured. So I really don't know what Newcastle are playing at. They've got money to burn, and the only players they are going to get are guys who don't mind the relegation dogfight, because that's what they're great. That's what they're in, regardless of what. And it's basically Wood. I'm sure it's probably double the salary going to Newcastle.
Yeah,
And if I was a Burnley fan, I would be totally pissed, because, as you rightly say, they have been weakened severely. They're bad enough as it is. Now they're really in trouble because they've lost one of their main strikers to a relegation candidate.
Yeah, to be fair to Burnley, they do not have a real transfer budget, do they? So for them, 25 million for a 30-year-old is probably a good bit of business. It's just the timing for them is really bad, isn't it? I think with Newcastle, well, Chris Wood's not a bad signing because it gives them a good physical presence up front that they're lacking.
Someone for Trippier to swing his balls into. Exactly.
There's something there. It gives them a little bit of an advantage at times. So, they got the money. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a huge investment. They're not doing silly amounts of money on people, but they're doing several moves, which seems to be the sensible thing. But it's kind of
if they stay up, you watch Newcastle in the summer, they will go ballistic.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be a lot of the players we'd want to be competing with as well.
Exactly.
I expect Newcastle to bid for Mbappe in the summer. I expect it. If they stay up, they will bid for it. I know Mbappe only wants to go to Real Madrid, but money talks. If you're offered, let's say, 900k a week from Newcastle, which is pocket change to the owners of Newcastle, don't be surprised if you see an Mbappe at a Newcastle if they start offering stupid money.
Yeah.
That would be mad. That really would. You never know. Like you said, money talks. Players have sacrificed their careers and gone to China for the wages. So it does happen. Let's see. Moondog saying, Ben, is your shop open, mate, as it looks empty?
It's not empty in here, but that's why I keep on muting my mic so that our chaps can have a chat.
business has been difficult the last few years for everybody, I think. What's it like now with some of the VAR on the mind here? What's it like with some of the COVID restrictions being lifted in recent times, Ben? Has it picked up much?
I mean, with me, in terms of I'm not strict. I believe in the freedom of people to make up their own mind. So I don't tell people they've got to wear masks in my shop. I'm triple vaccinated, which I won't push that on anyone whether they should be vaccinated or not. It's not my style. I mean, eventually I'm going to get COVID, even if I'm triple vax. People I know have been triple vax and they've still got COVID. The only way is to just try and live a normal life and try and keep the country as open as possible. When you see, so freedom is a massive important thing to me. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to really be that busy because I'm on the back end of the street. I'm not on the front of the street. So maybe I'd be a bit more strict if I was a bit more busy. But I mean, in terms of business, the government is actually doing a decent job with all the grants they've been given, a lot of the suggestions they've been given. So it's going to take a while for that economy to really reopen again. But it's all about just keep plucking along. And I'm mostly a wholesale business anyway. This isn't really a coffee shop. It's a roastery that has a tasting menu.
There we go. That will answer a few questions for a lot of people, that will. Because we're always wondering, how can Ben cope with only so few people coming in at a time?
I don't pay rent. That's the question. I don't pay rates and I don't pay rent because my shop's too small and my dad owns the building. So
there we go. All making sense now. Moondog's continuing saying, "Looks a nice coffee shop, mate. I'll have to pop in when I'm that way." Absolutely,
definitely pop in, Moondog.
And next time I'm up to London, that is straight over to your place, mate. Definitely bringing the kids with me. Yeah. Maybe to save a bit of money, you could double up. I was thinking as well. You could just like brew up your coffee and then get people to put a filter on the face and drink it through that.
Oh,
no, never mind. It's just a silly thought. Moondog saying, and Ben, my friend, I meant no disrespect, mate. Yeah,
no problem, Moondog.
Yeah,
it's a decent question. So
it is.
It's a decent question.
You wonder.
I mean, I'd love to be swamped because I was at one point I was making 200 coffees in the space of 20 minutes, and now I'm making 15 coffees a day, which is nicer for me because it means I get to make those 15 coffees the best 15 coffees you've ever drunk. Which is that's my MO. I don't like to make hundreds of coffees. I like to make 15 great coffees.
Absolutely.
I'm going to unplug some Mandy and Mark.
Morning.
How you doing?
He makes the best coffee.
Oh, there we go. So great endorsement. There we are. We knew that anyway, Ben. We knew that.
Everyone knows me. But it's so good that it's bad. Like, I can't drink coffee anywhere else because it just tastes so foul in comparison.
Yeah.
Can't ask for more than that.
The only problem with Mark is he supports Liverpool, but we have to forgive him.
Make allowances, mate. Yeah, make allowances.
Just put the Spurs emblem on the top of each cup of coffee he gets, you know.
I do put "Come on, you Spurs" on a lot of them.
Absolutely.
It's too difficult. But my brother came up with a funny joke about why Levy is trying to buy up all the properties. Because we see that Joe Lewis has a town called Lewisham. So I think Levy's trying to rename Tottenham Levium. So we're not. So it's going to be the battle of Lewisham versus Levium.
God. No.
Yeah, we're heading that way, isn't it? Moondog's asking, are you far from the stadium? As I'm up that way on the 19th of February.
About 40 minutes from the stadium. You just got to get on the central line to Stratford, and then you get on the Stratford from Stratford to Northumberland Park. It takes about 40-50 minutes.
Not too far out. Not too far out of the way, but enough to be a little inconvenient if you're thinking it's round the corner. Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. Philip, you're the guest on this morning. Anything you'd like to talk about, mate? That's on your mind with Spurs at the moment?
No, I think there's so many strands to what's wrong at Spurs at the moment. It's difficult to pick one that's actually the most important. I think keeping Conte is the most important thing for the future of the club. Getting the best out of the players we have, plus hopefully a signing or two to freshen things up a bit, because there's not the like. Remember the Spurs of 16, 17. I mean, we used to go to home matches there expecting to blitz the opposition, and 17 times out of 19 that season we did, and we drew the other 2. Right? That's what Spurs should be doing. That's what we have to aim at. Is to be absolute. We've got the best stadium in the country. We've got, and I've used this comparison before. We've a Rolls Royce of a stadium, but we've got a Lada engine in running it at the moment. We're not doing the stadium.
At least they were reliable.
Well, yeah. True, but like
Our engine like Peugeot.
You want
Totally
they break down a lot. We just need to get a happy balance of like ENIC buying up half of Tottenham does not look like they're going anywhere, regardless what protests there are. We've got to be realistic there. It looks like we're stuck with ENIC for the foreseeable future. We need to hope that Daniel Levy changes the habit of the last 21 years and puts his hand in his pocket. Because even he must realize he's got the best manager potentially that club's had since Bill Nicholson. And if he doesn't do enough to keep him happy and keep him there, then I despair for the future. I really do. If we get, if we can get Champions League this season, which is an outside bet, we might do it. You never know. Based on recent results, we won't. Then Levy will probably sit back for another while and say, we got in the Champions League and I didn't have to put my hand in my pocket. So maybe another Europa League season might be better for us. And with Conte pushing hard to get players in to say, listen, we should be better than this. Because we go into the Champions League with a present squad. We're not going to last too really. We couldn't even get out of the conference, albeit for different reasons, because of bad performances and couldn't give a toss performances by a lot of the players in the away games, So there's an awful lot wrong with our club. And I'm just hoping that Conte, Paratici, I'm not even going to mention Steve Hitchen because he's a joke, can use their reputation, use their threats to go somewhere else, basically, to make Levy do what he should have done years ago and cough up. Stop buying property, start buying players.
Yep, I agree. I don't even think that with the transfers you have to look at being marquee signings. I think you could look at the likes of what Leicester have done. Instead of getting these marquee signings and a few promising youngsters, they just get in like 3. Instead of say 2 marquee signings and a couple of up and coming youngsters nobody's heard of, they'll get like 4 players in that people have heard of, but they're not at the peak yet, and they're good players. They just work on blending them together, so they're all at a decent level to start with, and then just develop them over time. We don't seem to do that. It's marquee signings in that fail or occasional one on fire. And then all the dross. All the dross at the bottom. How many of them complete absolute write-offs? You wonder why they're even at the club. And Jai and the
where's our scouting system?
Has
our system been scaled back to save money?
Do we even know that the scouting system's in place and it's just being ignored?
We don't. We don't.
Yeah, there's just nothing. It's guesswork, isn't it? Seems to be with all of it. I'm going to do a couple of comments and then perhaps we could talk a little bit about a certain North London derby coming up. John Fitzpatrick saying, Levy is what's wrong with this club. It's that simple. And when Conte walks, we all must get ENIC out. Certainly must. I think we're a lot of us at that point already. The club just seems soulless. If you don't have a strong, beating heart, everyone coming from it is weak. Agree with that. So, core of the team. Pochettino always talks about this. getting the core of the team right, and everything springs from that. But you've got to look back further. It's got to start at the chairman, and then the manager, and then through the team. It's got to be the driving force coming from above. We're not getting that, are we? But anyway, right, got to look at it. North London derby. Ben, how do you see that going?
If we play like we did yesterday, we're going to get battered because Arsenal, they're not the most brilliant team in the world, and they're missing their best player, which is Thomas Partey. But they look a team at the moment. They've got players that turn up in big games, and our players do not turn up in big games. So I'm worried about this weekend. I'm very, very worried. Yeah, basically.
Phil, how do you feel about it?
I mean, this is the game I dread every season. You know, Arsenal at home. If we beat them, happy days. At the moment, you've got to say we are the underdogs for Sunday. Arsenal, as Ben says, Arsenal have players that actually do turn up for big games. Lately, our guys have been hiding. Okay, with the exception of Liverpool. If we can put in a performance like we did against Liverpool, we'll probably win the games. We'll shade it. I think the thing with Arsenal do have, be it made up or real, they do have a COVID problem at the moment. So they may be missing a few players. We'll know tonight, basically. We'll see who's missing from their team against Liverpool tonight. And also, we've got the advantage of a 24-hour rest period more than them. So let's hope we get a very tough game tonight now that maybe goes to extra time. That it won't.
It's not too late anymore.
It's the first leg, so it won't go to extra time. And then they come in a little bit under the weather for Sunday. But like, if our crowd cannot get up for the North London derby, then we may forget it, really, because we have a very tough week ahead now. We need to get 6 points for the next 3 games. I'm nearly writing off Chelsea away because we just don't do anything there usually. Yeah. If we can beat Arsenal and beat Leicester, then it will restore some of my faith. But in all honesty, and I hate to be a pessimist, I can actually see us getting no points in many of those games if things have done like they were last night.
Yeah, we've fallen.
But not at the moment.
We've fallen flat at just the wrong time, haven't we? That recent optimism seems to be fading very quickly. Could the transfer window be a boost for us of fans and then raise the team? You can't tell, but it all starts with that North London derby for me. If we get a win against them, we're gonna feel like we're back on track a bit, aren't we?
Yeah. It's a catalyst match. It's an absolutely vital match in fact, it's a vital match for both teams because if they beat us, it puts a gap between us and them again. Yeah. And whereas if we beat them, we leapfrog them. Or get close to leapfrogging.
Yeah, we've got 3 games in hand as well.
Yeah, so it's a huge incentive for the players if they cannot get themselves up for this. You know, really. Now I think positively Eric Dyer will probably be back on Sunday.
I hope so.
And I hope the Reguilon is back. And is there any chance of Romero even coming back? He must be close to fitness now.
He must be getting close. He must be getting close.
We got those guys back in the squad. I mean, that's a huge. It might be a huge lift for the team. It's a huge lift for the fans. You know, who thought we'd say that about Eric Dyer 2 months ago? You know, so we need to get our best players out there. And Son is going to be a huge miss. Son is absolutely really good.
Adama Traore in a debut game against Arsenal, I reckon he would be absolutely magic.
Oh, he would be. You know, I mean, I'm the jury. For me, the jury is still out on Traore whether we want him or not. But if we get him, I will give him my 100% support. And as you say, he can terrorize fullbacks. So, you know, it'd be a great. What a derby to come in and score your first goal for Spurs, you know? Debut goal. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
but that's Traore. 30th of January, you know?
Yeah. I know what you mean about Traore. If we did sign him, I don't rate him at all. I think he's just a ludicrous footballer. But if we did get him, he is also that sort of player where you just don't know what you're going to get. And that surprise element could be fun against Arsenal.
Jan
It's like a 10 out of 10 performance or 0 out of 10 performance with Traore. It's the problem.
Yeah. One thing that encourages me about Traore is Jan Vertonghen reckons he's the most difficult opponent he's ever played against.
That's something.
Against a few of them. So from that point of view,
Messi as well. It's playing Messi.
Yeah. So like if you got maybe Traore is a bit stale at Wolves. He's been there a long time. Maybe he's not doing it. Maybe he's doing a Dele Alli at Wolves that to come into a new club with a new outlook might be just what he needs, and he might pleasantly surprise us. Let's hope he does. Like I'd take anybody at the minute to come in and freshen that side up.
John Fitzpatrick, he's saying, honestly, Arsenal will be right up for this game. I worry for what's coming without Sonny. I just don't see us getting anything for this. It's difficult. It's difficult to see. The form is everything going. They say form doesn't matter going into North London derby, but it does. Yeah. I mean, when players are going in confident, full of confidence, playing well, it's a hell of a difference between trying to drag yourself up for the game.
This is an interesting thing from Spurs Web that's just come up on my Twitter page. Apparently, Paulo Dybala has decided not to renew his Juventus contract, which expires in the summer. Would you sign him on a free contract and give him stupid money? I certainly would.
We should have got him 2 years ago.
Yeah. Over 13 million quid, and we bought a crap player with that 13 million, Jack Clark.
That's the thing. We should have bought him back then.
We should have bought Jack Grealish as well. He didn't. Yeah, I mean, I'd take Dybala. I'd take it any day of the week. Is he Argentinian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another Argentinian in the club. It's not as if he's going to feel alone when he comes over here. He's enough Argentinians here to keep him, keep him happy.
But that instead of like Lo Celso, who's a crap Argentinian, you have a proper Argentinian too with Romero and Dybala. They're world beaters.
Chelsea could be very good at making him bed in and keep him, make him feel at home. So
they also say that they also say that Argentinian Spanish is very similar to Italian. So Conte there.
That's because most Argentinian people are from Italian background. So I know a lot of it. So Lo Celso his name's Giovanni, so he's Italian background. Romero is more of a Spanish background.
Yeah.
So I mean that's good as well. Instant rapport with the manager, that will help as well.
I mean, Dybala was managed by Conte, I think. So I think.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Oh no, that will be a great. So if we got him in January, even better. But the chances are we'll wait till the summer. But sign them up now for moving over in July.
The only hesitation I have on it is we didn't sign him at the time that couple of years back, and has he changed as a player? Possibly not. Possibly.
He's still awesome. He's scoring goals and goals.
He is.
Amazing.
But we're wondering why didn't it happen at the time? Was there something we didn't quite fancy about the player? Was it he wasn't quite?
What happened was Levy not paying the image rights. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Yeah.
Let's hope it's as simple as that.
If you bid 90 million for a player and then suddenly image rights are a problem, just say sod it.
There's also the worry is it could end up as another one of these players we sign over the huge promise, and then we end up with another one that's a high paid underperformer. We've seen it far too often.
World class. He's an actual world class footballer.
I'm trying to see what age he is here now.
There's other ones I'd prefer to see, to be honest, but I certainly wouldn't be up. I certainly wouldn't turn my nose up. I mean, compared to what we got at the moment,
the thing about Dybala is he's not really an attacking midfielder. He is a striker. So him and Kane would go. He'd be almost somewhat better than Sonny because he would go beyond Kane. Kane could go deep, and it would work because Dybala can play in like all those areas. So he'd be perfect for this team. He's perfect for this system. He's played in this system.
Yeah, he's 28 as well, so he's not older.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly going to add to the quality of the squad, isn't he? I mean, there's no doubt about that. How much of a fit he'd really be, I don't know. Depends. But when we're talking about potential of free transfer, that changes it. Really does. Got to be worth a punt, hasn't it?
I see ESPN have it here that Paulo Dybala is open to offers. Will not extend his contract and will listen to offers from other clubs. And does it mention Tottenham here? He was a reported target of Man United, Barcelona, and Tottenham in previous transfer windows. He is now able to negotiate a pre-contract agreement with clubs outside Italy to move in summer. Paratini, get your phone out. Jesus.
Yeah, free transfer in the summer. It becomes a no-brainer in that point of view, I suppose.
Pay him 150 grand a week. Pay him a week because we're getting them for nothing.
Yeah.
Bye, gents.
Cheerio.
Cheers. Yeah, it's got to be done. But it's value for money, isn't it? Free transfer. Doesn't get any better transfer fee than that. I mean, yeah. Would we be satisfied this season if we're looking at these sort of pre-contract agreements with players that we'll sign them fully in the summer, but get the deal brokered now, so at least we've got something to look forward to. We're going to be able to hang on that long. What do you think the fan base is going to be like, knowing we'll have people coming in the summer, but we're going to have a crappy end of season now?
They'll go apeshit because what I've seen about a lot of the present Spurs fans, we want instant results. We want it now.
Yeah.
And for me, if I was able to, the thing is, right, we're getting Dybala and we're getting whoever else in the summer, I'd say, right, fair enough. We'll take it because it's the best we can do. We might, if we got Traore this window, or somebody like him, and then Dybala and another in the summer, I'd say that's fair enough. Because we're not going to get the stellar ones in January. It just doesn't happen. It rarely happens. Yeah,
seems to be the case, mate. I mean, you've as said, you've got to learn predict the future by looking at the past, haven't you? And January's traditionally bad for all clubs signing players.
But I'll tell you one thing: if we're sitting here on the 1st of February, and Levy has done what he did there a couple of years back, didn't we go 20 months without signing somebody, or 3 transfer windows? If that happens again, I really think it's time to put the tin hat on. There's going to be war.
Yeah, people are going to be at the gates of Castle Levy with the pitchforks and the torches.
Pitchforks are going to be, I'll be checking mine in on Ryanair when I'm coming over,
You'd be in plenty of company, that's for sure, Philip.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we start looking to wrap it up then, Ben? I think.
Yeah, we can.
I think
let's do quick score predictions for Sunday, perhaps. Shall I start with you, Philip?
I'm not going to be too pessimistic or optimistic. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Fair enough.
I'd love to say better, but I just can't bring myself to.
Who's grabbing the goal?
I don't want to let myself down. I'm going to say it's going to be Brian Hill. He's got to get off the mark sometime.
Oh, nice shout. Interesting one. How about you, Ben?
I'm going to say 2-1 just because I've got to still be deluded. But it depends on who's on the team sheet before the game.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And let's hope VAR is kinder to us. We're actually due a bit of luck with VAR because we've had none. So I think if you worked out the point lost by teams because of VAR, it's one league we would win.
Yeah, could well be. Then again, you can look back in the past and think, we had our lovely times with VAR against Manchester City, for example.
Those are just good decisions. That's the difference between UEFA officiating and Premier League officiating. We can complain about UEFA, but their officiating is so much better than ours.
Yeah. Seems to be. Ben, didn't hear who you think's going to score though.
I think it's going to be Harry Kane's going to get another one, and let's go strange. I'm going to say Oliver Skipper's going to get one.
Ooh, nice.
Right. Very good.
All right. In that case, let's up the delusion even further. I'm going to go for 3-1 then, and we'll have Kane, Hill, and Skip scoring. There we go. Let's go for that. We can't be crap forever. Something's got to give at some point. North London derby. If you can't get up for that, like you were saying, Philip, if you can't get up for that, you might as well just pack up and go home and forget it. So let's see if Conte can actually get into the players and realise the importance of this one. he knows all about derbies and the significance of that to everybody at the club and the fans. He's been in so many of them as a player himself. He knows what he's doing. Let's see how these players respond. I think we're going to see Dyer back, aren't we?
Hopefully.
It'll be interesting to see if we get Romero. He may be ready. Since he's making the bench, he must be very close.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't on the bench, but it was like sitting on the bench with
Dyer.
Dyer.
That's what I mean. He's
there.
He's like
great mentality from them. They want to be with their teammates as well. It's great mentality from the two of them.
Yeah. Yes, I didn't say it right, but that is what I was referring to. He's there. He's there at match days. He's looking like he's part of it. It'll be interesting. Might be a bit too early for him, but let's have some optimism at least. Yeah,
certainly he'll be there for Leicester anyway. If we don't get him for Arsenal,
at the very least, let's have a performance on Sunday.
That's all we want. We want pride in our club. And a win would be brilliant. A defeat would be unthinkable. So let's have either,
I can put up with mistakes. I can grumble about those, but I can't put up with a lackluster performance. No. That's the worst of the lot. That's the most painful. Anyway, as Dermot said earlier, we're not going to be back on later this evening, not unless we do a sort of impromptu late show. But like I said, that's impromptu, so we won't know yet. We're gonna be planning our strategies off camera for a change to give ourselves a bit of a break. We will be back tomorrow in the morning with Ben again. I certainly hope so, sir. Yep, Ben will be here, and we'll see if there's any news to come at that point. Hopefully, a bit of transfer activity to talk about would be nice, wouldn't it?
Hopefully.
Even better, a bit of takeover bids would be nice as well, but that's possibly hoping for too much. Anyway, for now, thank you everybody for joining us.
No problem.
Have I checked the comments? Oh yeah, let's do it quickly. Derek Hutchinson, he just suggested 1-1 as well. I think I'd probably take that rather than feeling like I do at the moment. At least there'll be some fight in a 1-1 perhaps. But anyway, we shall see you in the morning otherwise. Thank you for joining us, and see you soon.
When the sun go marching in, oh, when the sun go marching in, I wanna be in the